In this video, I'm going to show you a scam that affects tens of thousands of people each year, including Elvis Presley's Graceland estate. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
It's called title fraud, and you would think that Elvis's family estate, Graceland, would have an army of accountants, lawyers, and financial planners stopping this from happening. But that wasn't the case. In 2018, a fictitious lender claimed that Lisa Marie Presley pledged Graceland for a $3.8 million loan. They had produced supporting documents, and over the course of several years, they initiated a claim against the Elvis estate. The perpetrator then published a foreclosure notice in a Memphis newspaper, and Graceland was scheduled to go up for auction at 11 a.m. on May 23, 2024, outside Shelby County Courthouse in Memphis, Tennessee. In the background, there was also an extortion attempt. The extortionist said, "If you pay us this money, we'll make the problem go away." The problem, and many people face this unfortunately at some point in their life, Lisa Marie had passed away in January of 2023, so over a year earlier, and there was no one there to refute the claim. Also in the background was Lisa Marie's daughter, Elvis's granddaughter, Riley Keough, suing to stop the foreclosure and the sale. She claimed that her mother's signature had been forged, and on May 22nd, one day before the auction, Chancellor Jenkins stopped the sale temporarily. Jenkins indicated that Keough would probably succeed if she could prove the signature was a fraud. Now, ordinarily, 24 hours out from an auction, you don't stop the sale. But Jenkins cited extraordinary circumstances because Graceland isn't just Riley's property, it's the place where Elvis grew up, and it's a national landmark. Now, understand the reason for the temporary injunction blocking the sale. It's not because Jenkins had overwhelming evidence. It's because Graceland was a national treasure and everybody needed to be 100% sure. Had that been an ordinary home, it might not have gone that way. Riley Keough didn't have overwhelming proof of fraud, and nobody was about ready to be arrested. It was because this was Graceland, and he wanted to give her more time. Now, the conclusion. Given the magnitude of what was going on, the FBI got involved and the U.S. Postal Inspector got involved. And after 3 more months of work, they determined that Lisa Marie Presley's signature was forged, and they found the person behind the scam. Lisa Janine Fendley was arrested for mail fraud and identity theft. Was she a mastermind capable of complex thinking and months of advanced planning to initiate a crime like this? Doubtful. She was a career con artist operating in and around Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Missouri. She passed bad checks, romance ripoffs, and identity theft. So what happens if someone doesn't have the resources of the Presley family and the house isn't Graceland? Well, as it turns out, some pretty bad things if there's no mortgage on the house. Because after all is said and done, the bank has a first lien on the house, usually anyway. Once that's gone, the home is what's called unencumbered, and what someone can do with a single form is often hard to stop if you don't take a few necessary steps, which are absolutely free. And this type of crime, it is growing. In April of 2025, the FBI's Boston field office issued a warning about a growing type of crime, real estate fraud, a specific type of real estate fraud. The fraud goes straight after paid-off homes, it's climbing fast, and the people most likely to be targeted are older Americans who own their homes free and clear. That's a direct quote from the FBI. That's not a maybe. That's the FBI telling you in writing you are the target if you're a retiree with a paid-off house. Now, you may have heard about this before, but a lot of the videos that talk about this get the data wrong, either intentionally or unintentionally. The way it's presented is often scaring people into buying protection that they already have and that they don't need. So today I'm going to tell you 2 things. First, what the crime can and can't do to you. And second, what's already available to you now for free and why you probably don't need to pay for the same service through someone else. I'm also going to show you what to do this week so that you're not the person cleaning up the mess. Because if it happens, it's a mess. And it takes one afternoon to make sure that you are protected. So 3 things to know once you pay off your house. The first is that the day you pay off your home, the lien is taken off of your home. So the bank doesn't have security over your property anymore. The second is that the title is free and clear. It's yours. And the third is that at this point, you're probably the only one watching what's happening to your home. So to you, it's freedom. To a fraudster, it is a big payday, because if you can get a claim on that house, then you're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars or more. And disproportionately, the people who get targeted are people in retirement. Why? Because their home is fully paid off, it's appreciated in value, and the person living there has been living there sometimes 30 or 40 years, and their guard is down. Now, how does the scam work? Well, there are a lot of different ways for this scam to happen, but they all have a common entry point. A criminal fills out something called a quitclaim deed, often using an LLC so you don't know who they are. And that quitclaim deed transfers ownership from the person who owns the home to someone else. The quitclaim deed is an ordinary document used every day, often to transfer ownership from one family member to another. And because this country and most countries in the westernized world value property, it makes the transfer as easy as possible. They forge your signature on it and then file it with the county. And the county clerk often doesn't even check identification. That comes right from the FBI report. The clerk's job isn't to be a detective and make sure that it's really you. Their job is to process the paperwork and file it away. That's the law. Now, once the forged deed is on file with the clerk's office, the criminal tries to monetize that 3 different ways. The most common way is to take out a home equity line of credit on your home and then take the money and walk away. Or if the home is one that you're not living in, they'll rent out the home and collect rent deposits. Now, if you notice the last part, the easiest targets are homes where nobody's looking every day, second homes, rentals, and the homes of people who've recently passed away. Lisa Marie Presley wasn't living in Graceland, so she fit the first criteria, and then later, after her death, she fit the last criteria. A home that you live in every single day is harder to run this scam on. Now, here's a part that many of the scary videos leave out. A claim on your home with a forged deed is void. That's the exact language that the courts use. A thief that tries to close on your home with a forged signature can't succeed. If you listen to how ARP phrases it, they say a forged deed is invalid and the true owner only appears on the surface to have lost the title. Your name in the eyes of the law is still the name that owns that house. So no, a stranger isn't going to sign your name and walk away with the house that you raised your family in. The real mess is if someone signs your name and borrows against it, then you still are required to clean up the mess because you have to prove a lot of things. You have to show a lot of evidence. You have to prove the fraud. You have to clear your title, and you have to unwind those loans. This can mean months of your life and thousands of dollars of legal bills to fix a problem you did nothing to cause. And that is the reason to act now, not because you're about ready to lose your home, but because in about 5 minutes of free work, you can stop this process in its tracks. Now, the FBI has cited around $1.3 billion in losses across more than 58,000 victims over 5 years, from 2019 to 2023. The number is real, and the losses are getting bigger every year. So it's getting bigger, but it's not the every house on the block problem that you see in a lot of these ads. So how do you protect yourself? Well, let's talk about one that you've probably already paid for. You already own it. Owner's title insurance. And generally, it doesn't expire when you pay off your loan. Think back to the day when you bought your home. In most cases, you pay for something called an owner's title insurance policy at closing. Now, a lot of people confuse this with the lender's policy, which does expire when your home is paid off. But the owner's policy is different. It doesn't expire when you pay off the loan. It generally remains in force for as long as you or your heirs retain an interest in the property. And unlike some of these things that you see on television, this is real coverage, and it helps protect your title in the event something goes wrong. So one of the big jobs for you this week is to dig out your old paperwork, or better yet, call your title insurance company and ask them the question. Do I have an owner's title insurance policy on this home, and what does it cover if someone files a fraudulent deed? You may already own the strongest protection on the list, and you don't even know it. Now let me save you some real money, because fear turns this into a regular monthly payment. It's called a title lock. We've all seen the ads for the paid title lock services. Scary music, a stranger stealing a house, and a subscription that promises to lock your title down. Here's what the Federal Trade Commission said about title locks in 2024. They say a home title lock is, and I mean their words, not a lock and not insurance. The FTC said it would not stop a fraudulent transfer from happening. All it does is notify you after the fact when you can get the same alert for free. ARP said something similar. They question the value of these services. They say that you get notified after the fraud has already occurred. So if you're paying for this, ask one big question. Am I paying for an insurance policy where you're going to cover the losses and pay for all of the hassle to get my title back the way that it was? Or am I paying for a notification? Gang, how prepared are you for retirement really? A lot of people think they're more prepared than they really are. Because of that, I created the free retirement readiness quiz. It's 15 questions, takes 2 minutes to fill out, and you'll get a 12-page report at the end emailed to you instantly, absolutely free. No credit card, no phone number, nothing like that. If this is of interest to you, go to holyschmidt.com/quiz, fill out the questions, and get the report. You'll also be put on our list and get tips, tricks, and other information a few times a week. So let me give you some helpful action steps for the week ahead. Step 1, and do this first. Call your county recorder or clerk's office or check their website and sign up for their property fraud alert. Most counties offer it, it's free, and you'll get an email the moment signs up and there's a claim against your property. It doesn't stop it from happening, but it tells you when it happens so you have time. You're not finding out on the steps of the county courthouse. If by chance the county doesn't offer this service, the next step is very important. Watch your mail. This can be an early warning sign, especially if a property bill stops showing up, a utility bill stops showing up, things stop happening that ordinarily happen. A missing bill can mean that a criminal has changed the mailing address on your property. Treat it as a red flag and check your records right away. Step 3, check your deed in your county land records once or twice a year. Many times you can even do this online. You're simply making sure that the only name on your title is yours and that there's no loan against your property. And a related step, freeze your credit. Because if someone takes out a loan in your name and you freeze your credit, they can't run a credit check. You can do it for free at all 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and you can do it online in a few minutes. Now, on this point, just to be super clear here, a credit freeze will not stop someone from recording a deed because filing a deed doesn't run a credit check. But it does stop a criminal from filing for a loan in your name. Finally, if the worst does happen and someone files a fraudulent claim, notify the police immediately, notify the county recorder immediately, and speak to a real estate attorney immediately. The attorney can advise you on whether a title action or another legal remedy is the right way to clear your name. Speed is your friend here. The faster you move, the smaller the mess you have to clean up. If you like this video, check out that video, the verification step that stops 99% of voice impersonation scams. Also, don't forget to take our free retirement readiness quiz. Go to holyschmidt.com/quiz, fill out 15 questions, and get your free report instantly. This is Jeff Schmidt, and I will see you in that video right there.